Hey, gay millennials! Welcome back to another episode of Good Day Gay. You are tuning in as Paul is flexing those big daddy muscles. You get those once you enter your 30s. If you got them before then, you're on steroids. I'm
Yes.
your host, Russell Way, along with my co-host, Paul Lee B.
Good day.
How
What's
you
up?
doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I don't know. It's like summer's coming. I feel like in summer you can be extra. So I feel like my
Yes.
clothes get extra. I bring out the Louis Vuitton and like the bags, like the legs are legsing, the arms are armsing. Love it.
Yes.
Love it.
Let me tell
Summer's
you,
here.
I am over being pale here. Like, for those of y'all that are look, Paul and I had on the same outfit. I had on mine. It was a lighter brown version
Yeah.
of what I'm wearing
Gotcha.
now, and Paul has on like a chocolate top, and mine is like, I don't know, like caramel, right? I
Yeah,
looked
yeah, yeah,
so pale. It looked like I was sick and needed to go to the hospital. So Paul was like, "What is happening with you?" And I'm like, "I have no idea."
We both
Anyways,
saw it at the same time. We were like, why are you pale?
so we stripped down into a tank top instead, and my skin tone looks much more natural, like I am. Um, so this week we are talking about New York,
New
Empire State of
York.
Pride, gays
Yes.
in the city. Let's talk about our favorite spots. Paul, where is your favorite spots to go to in New York?
New York, can I just say, is the best city in the world. I don't know. I just love New York. I was about to swear. I'm gonna swear. I fucking love New York. Love it. Um, I just love Manhattan. I love Times Square. Every time I see Times Square, whether Times Square during the day, Times Square at night, Times Square is just the best. I love it. Um, my favorite place in New York is actually Magnolia Bakery. Like, you were in New York last week, and I was like, bitch, why have you not eaten Magnolia Bakery yet? Like, I need content of Magnolia Bakery. I'll be there every.
Look, to
Yeah.
be fair, I might have eaten there. Shane takes me to a lot of locations where I never know the name. I'm just there for the food. So it's possible that I've eaten there. I
Okay.
am just not sure.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, every month, that flavor of the month of Magnolia Bakery, I'll be getting like the little flavor of the month plus the big banana pudding. Always, 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 always. And
We love a
the
flavor
other
of the month.
one.
Not the tooth lick.
Sorry, I don't know. It's because we're talking about New York, and I love New York. I want to move there.
You know
Um,
what? I think this would be a great time to tell everyone once we reach, should we say this live?
yeah, let's
Once
do
we
it. We're like,
look, everybody, once we reach 100,000 subscribers, followers, we are officially making the move to New York
to
City,
New York.
and we're gonna be the new gays in the city. So move over
Yes.
SJP and the Just Like That crew because we are coming in hot. So yeah, that's mine and Paul's deal. Like, we have stated that once we get there, once we get to 100,000 followers, whether
Yeah.
it be on
Yeah.
Instagram, on YouTube as subscribers, we're we're taking the plunge. We're
We're
moving
doing the
to
move.
New
We're
York.
making the move. Yeah. New York. New York,
So
baby.
we need your help to get there. So if you're new to this, please like, please subscribe, please follow the podcast and share it on your stories. We're here to bring you a good time as you are a gay lineal just like us and going through the
Yes.
struggles and all the promises that have been yet to been delivered on our behalf. We are powering through and reinventing ourselves as millennials do, because you know what? Everything else that we've done has failed, so might as well just keep pushing.
Before we move on, let me just quickly oh, I don't know. Blah 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 blah. All
Do
right.
it. What is
Okay, so
it? Tell me.
first of all, like other than Magnolia Bakery, the other shout out I need to give is Birria because the best birria tacos, like that was my introduction to, like, as an Aussie would say, birria tacos. Like, love it. Um,
Wait, did
okay,
you have
it's
media in
yeah.
California when you were here?
No, I didn't have it in LA. I do think the Mexican is better in LA, but like there's just so much like Latino food in New York, like Dominican food, like
Yes.
the Puerto Rican food, the Peruvian ceviche. Oh, like I
Look,
love it.
because right now I mean, you're not. It doesn't bother me. Like, I'll eat food anywhere, but I mean, some of our listeners are from Southern California and California themselves. So if you're throwing out birria saying it's the best in the world, I don't know about that. So we might
All
have to have
right,
a
you know
taste test
what?
and talk about it. But I
You know
will
what?
say you did rave about this place and said it was very good.
Yeah, all right. 50,000 followers. I'm coming to LA, and you and I are gonna do like a eating live, mukbang. Is that what it's called? What it's
Mukbang.
called? Um. Okay, so this isn't my favorite place in New York, but I spend a lot of time there because I've got family that lives in New Jersey. So to go into the city, I would always catch a bus from New Jersey, and the
Yes.
bus would pull up at 42nd Street, the Port Authority bus terminal.
Yes.
Let me just reiterate again, this is not my favorite place in New York, but I always end up there as the starting point for my trip to the city that day, that week, whatever. Um, every time, so it's a 45-minute bus ride from New Jersey. So every time I'm on that bus, I'm like, I need to pee. Like I drink a lot of
That's
water
the
and
worst.
always need a pee. So I always, I don't, I like the bus always stops at the same place, but I still never get my bearings. And so I always end up in a different toilet every time I get to like 42nd Street. Um, but one night I was meeting my friends like for a RuPaul's Drag Race viewing party, and I was like, "Fucking need a pee." So I run into this bathroom, and I'm like, just go to the urinal, pull my pants down, start peeing, and then I noticed that the guy next to me, there's no peeing noise going on. So I just, creep to the side of my eye, and man's, man's jerking off, and
No.
and I
I
go.
mean, look, it is New York. So
Okay, but then I turned around,
cruising
like
is a thing.
literally looked around, and I was like, everyone in this toilet is cruising right now. This was like 6 p.m. on a
Oh
Friday
no.
night. I know. 6 p.m. on a Friday night. I'm like, oh, I just found a cruising spot.
The girls were hot that night. They said, we got to get it in. We got to get in fast because we got things we got to do tonight.
Yeah,
Okay.
so 42nd Street, Port Authority bus terminal, cruising
Don't
spot.
wait. You can't be giving out the secrets.
Sorry, don't listen to this.
Delete, delete,
Rewind. We're gonna
delete.
edit
Take that
that out.
back.
Delete, delete, delete,
Look,
delete.
if anybody gets canceled in this location or oh, you're
Gonna
not
be me.
supposed to be giving precise locations.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Well, they don't know what bathroom.
Okay. Well, that street is very long. So
It's very long.
they get, no pun intended. You know what?
Right.
One of my favorite spots
Yeah.
in New York City is Empanada Mama. Like it is a staple.
Yes.
Cardi B
Yes.
has sung about it in her songs. It is
Yes.
it's right in Hell's Kitchen where all the gay
Love it.
bars are at, and you can
Yes.
find gays there all
Uh-huh.
night because I think they're
Oh no, we
open
did.
24 hours. If not, they
They
don't close
are.
until like 4 a.m. But
Yeah.
after the bars, everyone's at Empanada Mama. Like
Oh, I love that
Shane and
place.
I's second or third date, we went to the bars and we had a lot to drink, so we needed heavy food. So we went to Empanada Mama. It was me, his cousin. It was my friend Rafa, and I think maybe another friend. But yes, Empanada Mama, a staple. You need to go there if you haven't been there. If you want to do some touristy things, do it. I think you should see everything in New York City once.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
but I mean, if you want good food, good spots, definitely talk to the local. B-side pizza, amazing.
Didn't have that
So
one.
B-side pizza is right around
Yeah.
Flaming Saddles. So if you open
Yeah.
your maps and you look up Flaming Saddles, um B-side pizza is like right around the corner from that. They
Okay.
just opened a second location right behind it called A-side, and they serve pasta and Italian food, which used
Love
to be
that.
Hell's Kitchen, which was a really, really popular spot. Shane actually used to work there. He was a server. So a shout out to or RIP to Hell's Kitchen because I've heard there's a lot of stories that went down there and a lot of people met. And that was like a spot that was a bar but not a bar type of situation. But it was like the hot spot to go before you went out. From what Shane was telling me. So favorite spots, what we got so far? Empanada Mama, we got B-side Pizza, Birria Land,
Yeah. Magnolia Bakery. There's actually,
Magnolia Bakery.
when you were talking about bars, there's this awesome bar that my mate showed me. Is it in the East Village? It's in the East Village. It's a What are those bars called? Like those hidden bars?
Speakeasy.
It's a speakeasy.
Okay.
It's in the Five Guys. Um,
Mm,
it's in the Five Guys, so you have to walk into the Five Guys all the way to the back, and then going upstairs. There, I can't remember what the bar's called, but it was amazing. Like such a cool
I love
vibe.
that.
Yeah, the vibe was amazing. It was sick. It was
Gay or
good.
straight?
Gay friendly. Like I
Okay,
met.
that's fair.
Yeah,
We love a
I
good
met a
ally.
exactly. I met a group of gays there. Also, like shout out to the bartenders because the bartenders there were amazing. And there was actually the two times that I was there, there was a group that just weren't tipping. Like they just kept pressing zero tip, zero tip. And I was
Yeah.
like, mate, I'm Aussie. I don't exactly like tipping, but I know I have to do it because this is America. Like
Yeah.
this is America. So I was like, I have to do it. I have to tip.
Yeah.
So shout out to the bar because the bar literally went back to the sale and was like, mate, or he didn't say mate. He was like, to the guys that weren't tipping, you have to tip. This is America. You have to tip. Like, yeah.
Here's the thing. The only time that is acceptable is if you either tip large at the beginning so that the bartender
Mm,
knows like, yo, this is I'm gonna come to
yeah.
you. This is
Yeah.
the money up front. You're gonna be my person. And then
Yeah.
usually the bartender will take care of you because there's like an unspoken understanding
Unspoken. Yeah.
or agreement of I just tipped you $40 and I bought one drink. So we're gonna be coming back to you for the rest of our drinks. Or if you know the person on a personal level,
Mm,
then if you're gonna do zero out, then at the end of the night you give them a fat tip. So like in
yeah.
Palm Springs,
Hmm.
getting off topic for a second, when in Palm Springs, when friends used to come visit me when I was out there for a couple of years,
Hmm.
the same bartender always hooked us up. At the end of the night, I would hand him $100 bill.
Yeah.
Like when I had parties coming to town, and then everybody else in the crew would give him a fat tip as well,
Nice.
because that's what you do. You take care of your people.
Mm,
Now, some of these other places, if you're not giving me any service, I don't know why you're asking for a tip if I've yet to receive food or drinks from you. If it's like it's gonna ask you a couple
mm,
questions, zero. I'm pressing zero because I haven't got a damn thing from you, and this tipping culture is out of control. And there's
mm.
also another thing. There's a thing now that some restaurants are putting 4 or 5% in addition onto your tab.
Yes, I saw
I'm
that.
not going to say
Mm,
where this was at, but Shane and I went to dinner and we asked the server on the bottom, on the way bottom of the menu, in little tiny print, it says, if you
mm,
would like this removed from your tab, please let your server know. It's to
hmm.
help keep wages competitive, health insurance, blah, 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 blah. So I said, hey, can I ask you a question real quick? And the server's like,
Hmm.
yeah, like not knowing what was coming their way. I said, this percentage on the bottom of the tab that's added on, do you see that at all? Does it come to you? And he was like,
Yeah.
no, we don't see that. So I said, why don't you take that
Why?
off? And then we'll add that extra 4 or 5% into your personal tip. That way you're getting the cash in your pocket
Yeah.
opposed to
Yeah.
waiting for the company to spend you. So
Yeah.
I digress on that. But we should not be doing that to our employees. We should just be paying them reasonable wages so that they can live a life.
Mm.
Okay. Because if
Welcome to Australia.
there's any place to live, honey, is in New York City. Okay.
New York.
New
Yeah.
York.
New York.
Um, And with that being said, sometimes there's cute little moments and there's
There's-
NYC movie moments. Did you have any NYC movie moments where you were in New York?
I had a lot
I feel like you
I
had a
had a lot
couple
of
cute nights.
I had oh I had a lot of moments and again I was like playing with the thought of okay, how open am I gonna be about my New York City moment? Which 50,000 followers, we're bearing it all. Are we bearing it all at 50,000 or do we
No,
have
250,000 followers. I will bear it all because at that point, I will have insurance and I will have, and this will be my full time paying gig. So if you want it all,
okay.
you got to give me the 250.
Okay, 250,000 followers, we're bearing it all.
The move
Um,
will happen at 100,000. Now the giving you the realness and being out in my chonies is gonna get you at 250.
did I have New York City moments? Like, I just think New York City is the place where anything can happen. Like, you could make a friend randomly at a bar, and that friend could be like your friend for life, or you
True.
could fall in love at an orgy. Um, or
Not what I was expecting.
or like so every episode I tell you guys that I'm crazy. So another thing about me is that I'm just delusional as well. So I literally walk through life like I'm the main character energy all the time. Even in a small town like Adelaide, I'm main character energy.
As you
Uh,
should.
as you should be. So imagine me in New York, like main character energy, like strutting
Yes.
down the street, listening to my music in my headphones, and I'm just strutting. And like, I've never had these moments where people will look at me or like you'll lock eyes with someone on the street and you'll just continue to look at each other. Never had those moments until I was in New York. And so there's me, like, strutting down the street, like giving my best carry, but really I'm the Samantha. Um, Giving my best carry, walking down the street, and all these guys are just like locking eyes with me and just like, hey, how are you? And I'm like, hey, I'm good. How are you? And then you just keep walking and, you're in love for like 1 second. And then you try to go on Grindr to find them again, to fall in love for another second, but you don't find them and you just move on. And New York to me is just the place where like anything can happen and you have to let it happen to you in New York. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's why,
You definitely have to let New York happen to you. You don't happen to New York. New
yeah.
York happens to
And
you.
yeah, I've been there 3 times now. Like, the first time I was 12 years old, so I guess that doesn't really count. But first time, got all the touristy spots out of the way, did all the touristy attraction things, that was it. Like, my third time in New York, everything was happening to me there, and it was the best. So I don't know. My New York City movie moment was that I my own movie and I'm the main character, and um, I'm constantly finding love every day, every corner of every street. Will she meet the one? Like, who knows? I don't know.
You know what? It really is. You really do get those compliments walking down the street. And I'll tell you why, because you can be your authentic self in New York City. So
Yes.
the other day, uh Shane and I and a couple other friends were walking down the street, and instantly, 2 or 3 times, it was like, "Hey boys, how you guys doing tonight?" And it's like, "Oh, how you doing?" Like it just
Yeah.
feels nice. Like you're not necessarily trying to go home with anybody, but just the props and the praise that you
Mm,
get for just being your authentic self and walking down the street is unlike any other experience you will ever have in the United
yeah.
States.
Yeah.
Um, and it's a beautiful thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like we bask in that. And
Mm,
it was
mm,
actually after, was it after preview? Yes. So as we talked about last week, we saw Death Becomes Her.
yeah.
Uh I cannot give enough raves about that show. It is for the gays.
Yes.
Um I don't know if I want to give away too much. Last night was opening night. So
Mhm.
shout out to Tori and Everett because it was the show was officially open. When we went, it was considered preview. So there's still markings and there's still things that they're doing to fine tune the show. But opening night
Yeah.
is a hard set, and that's how the show will be for as long as it runs now.
Yeah.
So shout out to Tori and Everett. He looked amazing last night. He had on this beautiful skin toned outfit that had a
Mm.
drapery, like a drapery, cocoon-ish style
Yes.
headpiece.
Yes.
Gorgeous. Him and Hayden looked beautiful on the red carpet last night. Kelly Rowland was there. Frankie Grande was there. It was a star-studded event. And for those of y'all who haven't been, Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child
Mm.
um is in the show as well. It's an all-star cast. Okay, I'm gonna just tell you. There is a moment where the guys rip off the ass of their pants, and it's like the colors of the rainbow, and they're all in different color suits, and it's just ass, 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 ass all the
Yes,
way
Spice
across.
Girls.
And that's exactly what I said. I said the same thing. I said, okay, is this a Spice World movie? Like it it is. I don't want to give you, I want people to see it, right?
Yeah,
So if you
yeah,
get the
yeah, yeah.
opportunity in New York to go see it, go see it. My New York City moments, movie
Yes, tell
moments.
me. Yes.
I met Shane. I was called out there for work. It was
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Okay.
I texted one of my friends and I said, "Hey, are you around? I'm in town. I got called to be out here for work last minute and I have nothing to do." So he's like, "Oh my God, yes." I said, "Okay." So he brings Shane
Okay, yeah, yeah. You've
because
never
we
actually
we were
told me this
we were
story.
meeting at my hotel.
Okay, yeah.
He brings Shane and I open the door and I'm like, "Oh, hi, how's it going?" Like I give my friend a hug and I'm like, "Hey, how's it going? I'm Russ." And he's like, "Mm-hmm." And I'm like, "Ah."
Wait, Shane
Okay,
did that?
he did. Okay, so here's the reason why. Shane was in my DMs
Oh,
prior to this,
okay,
but in my mind, when he was like, let me just give you my defense. In my
okay.
mind, when he was messaging me on Instagram, it was commenting on the things that I was doing or posting. So it was like, "Oh my gosh, how cute!" So I would like heart it and
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
it.
yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't
We never
respond.
really had like an initiated conversation like, "Oh, how's your
Yeah,
day going?" Like, "Hey,
yeah,
are you in New York? Like let's meet up or hang out, like whatever." Okay. So I was just doing a lot of that, like liking, smiley face, like thank you, like whatever.
yeah,
So
yeah.
he had an attitude when he got there.
Ah, I
And then
don't
I'm
see that
like,
from Shane at all. I don't see Shane
uh,
giving you attitude at all because he's the nicest guy ever.
so angry. Just the angriest. He wasn't angry, but he was like playing very posh, right? So I was
Mm,
like,
mm,
"Oh God,
coy.
okay." I was like, "Do you want something to drink?" And he's like, "Yes, I'll take something." And then I turned around and I got a glimpse of his face as I was like walking away, and he was like, just mouth wide open. And I'm like,
Oh,
got him.
got him.
So we make drinks, we go to the bar.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be cute. I'm like, I'm gonna go out in this it was a long sleeve. It was like the thinnest long sleeve in the middle of winter. It was freezing outside. It was like
Yeah.
27-ish degrees, 35 degrees, whatever it was. It was cold and it had a wind chill. So I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my
You're
gosh,
talking
keep me.
Fahrenheit as well for the Aussie.
Yes.
Talking
I'm like, oh my
Fahrenheit for the
gosh, keep
Aussies.
me,
Yeah.
keep me warm. And he's like, yeah, you thought you were real cute coming out in this outfit. And I told you it was gonna be cold. And he was like, are you gonna wear a jacket? And I was like, no, I come out here all the time. I was wrong. Um, so then like we go to the bar, we start hanging out, we start talking more, things start going well.
Yeah.
Um, the next time I'm in town, we go on a date to Tacoma, which is a
Not
Mexican restaurant.
Chipotle. You upped it from Chipotle. I love that.
We upped it from Chipotle. We went to an actual sit
Yes,
down restaurant.
I love this story already.
um, and it's funny because like I had meant
Wait,
to
is
ask for his number multiple times, but
sorry,
we what?
is Tacomi's the it's the Mexican
It's a
restaurant.
Mexican restaurant in the East Village.
Yes, I've been there. Someone took me on a date there the last time I was there, and yeah, definitely
Are
put it on
we
the top.
Eskimo bros at restaurants now?
Sorry, keep going. But Tacomi, yes, yes to Tacomi.
So we go to Tacoma and then like we're just like we go to the bars or whatever for the rest of the night and then we go hang out in my room and then I think he takes off because he lived like not too far from where I was staying. The next
Yeah.
time I come back, we go on another date, we go to a wine bar, and then he takes me back to my room, and then he's going to leave. And like I'm telling you, like it I already felt like I had his number mentally, but I didn't. We were messaging on Instagram,
Yeah, I was gonna say you had
and
him on. Yeah.
he goes,
Hmm.
"Give me that." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Your phone, because you haven't asked for my number." And I was like, "Ooh, my bad." Like, so
Shane, I love Shane even more now. Love him even more.
so he puts his number in my phone, and then we officially had phone numbers saved with
Nice.
like we had each
Okay.
other's phone number saved, and we were texting from then. Um, and then he planned on moving to the West Coast,
Yep.
and at the same time he was moving to the West Coast, I got my transfer to I was living in the Bay Area at the time, San Francisco, and I was moving
Okay.
back down
Yeah,
to
yeah.
California. So he moved at the same time that I got my transfer, and then we were kind of just inseparable since. And then we uh,
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the gay thing. I'm just gonna go off topic for a
Do
second. I
it.
know
Yeah,
like
I'll
we're already
confirm.
like running
We
behind on time. Also,
yeah.
Ewan Mark, entered the chat. He said, so was he trying to flirt? Yes, Shane was trying to flirt. Marsha also entered the chat. She said, yes, we love a man who takes charge.
We do.
Talking about Shane taking my phone.
We
So,
do.
I don't know if this is a gay thing, but
Yeah.
every relationship that I've been in, I've never asked somebody out officially. It kind of just happens. So all my
I
relationships have been just continuous dating, and
yeah.
then we're just official.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that like happens with age, maybe. Like, I know when
okay.
I was in my 20s, I definitely had an emphasis on, like, what are we? Are you my boyfriend? Blah, blah, blah. So, my last two boyfriends, we did the whole official thing, like, yep, you're my boyfriend. Whereas these days, like, if I'm hanging out with someone, I'm hanging out with them. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm investing in
Yes.
them and no one else. So maybe it just comes with age. I don't know. We listeners, viewers, confirm this, please.
Yes. Because I have not asked somebody out
So you and
in
Shane aren't official.
no, we just live together.
No, you just
So
live together.
we just live together. We just share a bed and we just cuddle at night and we just, you know, but
Oh, I love
who's ever
this.
official when you're gay? No. Um, yes. So it just, and it's funny because that just dawned on me right now. I'm just like, neither one of us really asked each other out. It was just kind of like, we're doing this. You know what I
So
mean? So
question.
our anniversary date falls on the day that we met.
Okay, then. So that's where my question is, because, like, honestly, like, I've never. I think I like spoke to Shane about this, like, in, like, very shortly, but I didn't really know the details of, like, how you guys met. I just knew you guys met in New York. Um, so then, how long were you, like, sort of in that long distancey kind of phase ish from the day
Not very
you?
long because he had moved to California like right after we met and were dating.
Oh, awesome. Okay, cool. So it wasn't
Yeah.
that, like, prolonged, yeah,
No.
distance.
It wasn't like we weren't dating for like 2 years or a year, like long distance. It was like a couple months at that.
All right, let me put something into your mind right now.
Do it.
We get to 250,000, 500. What was our mark?
Our
500.
mark to move to New York is 100,000 followers.
We get to 100,000 followers. You, me, and Shane all living in the same apartment building.
I'm down.
Yeah,
You know what my goal is? Look, here's my manifestation. I
let's
want
do it.
to take
Manifest, baby.
over the TRL studios in Times Square that used to shoot TRL back in the day. I don't know if you
Yes.
know what that is.
No, no,
Okay.
no. I know that. Me, my brother and sister, we Filipinos, we gangster. Like, we watch TRL.
Perfect. So I want to take over TRL Studios. That is
Yeah.
my ultimate goal one day because
You know,
I want a live studio audience.
yes.
I want all of the gays to be gagging over. I want all the gays to be gagging over us and wanting to be on our show. That is my
Yes.
manifestation. Okay.
Yes.
So 100,000 followers, we're moving to New York. 250,000 followers, I will do a tasteful photo shoot with cheeks out, nothing in the front. Okay, so it'll just be a cute little side. My body will be a lot nicer. I'm working on it now. Okay, I'm going to the gym, but that's gay culture, right?
That's
So,
gay culture. Gay culture in New York.
gay culture in New York is the mecca of where gay culture happened. And yes, Marsha can
Mhm.
come visit every week. She says she's going to come
Yes,
visit us every week.
please. Yes,
Um,
please.
and so, like, I just want to fill the people in who have not been to New York. And, it was the birthplace of modern LGBTQ rights.
Mhm.
Stonewall happened. The Stonewall riots happened in 1969. The bar is still standing and is still a heavily visited spot, especially during Pride. We went, Shane and I went a couple years ago to Stonewall with some of his friends.
Mm.
And the first Pride March that ever took place in New York City was the following year on June 28th, 1970, with about 5,000 people marching 51 blocks from Greenwich Village to Central Park.
51
Um,
blocks.
and I
51
know
blocks.
you're a huge Drag Race fan. I mean, who isn't, right?
Who isn't?
So, New York City is the. Hold on, I have it in my notes. Sorry,
Yeah,
y'all.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like
yeah.
just
No, 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 no.
uh
Give us the
It is.
facts.
It's produced. It's. Oh my gosh. Hello. How you doing? It produced RuPaul, who then went on to be this mogul who's running RuPaul's Drag Race, Australia,
Yes.
UK,
Yes.
all over the world. So RuPaul started their career in New York City.
Yes. New York.
I'm telling you, it's New York gay culture is it's almost like, you know how if you know six people, you will know the entire world by extension. New York
Yeah.
City is, if you know one gay, you know everybody in the city, because
Yeah.
let me tell you,
And
everybody knows everybody.
but that's the thing, like so many people, I live in a small Adelaide town and everyone's like everyone knows everyone, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like not only is your city or your country small, but the world is small. Like the first time shout out to my New York sister Nick. He gave me this hat before I
Yes.
left. He was like, I really want to give you a he was being weird. He's like, on my last night in New York, he was like, "Oh, we need to quickly." So I'm like, "Why? The bar is in the other direction." Um, I feel like I'm telling the story the wrong way around. But anyway, he was like, "You need to come back to my place." And so we went back to his place, and he was like, "I just wanted to give you this little present because, you know, we've only like hung out for a few weeks now, but I really feel like you've integrated into the group. Like you're one of us. Like you're always welcome here in New York." And that's just like I feel like I'm gonna cry because that's just New York. And Nick and I met. So the first time I met Nick was at Hush, and
Uh-huh.
we had like a little I don't know if we had like a little moment on the dance floor, and then that was that. And then the next weekend I went to Rise, and someone taps me on the shoulder, and
Yes, we love
Nick.
Rise.
And I was like, oh my gosh, Nick, like I met you last weekend. And then 2 years later, I come back to New York this year and I'm
Mhm.
like, hey, let's catch up. I'm going to be in New York for like 6 weeks. So we catch up. He introduces me to all of his friends.
Yep.
Um, as I continue on to my travels, he's sending me random pictures. So one night he meets a guy that I play rugby with. And I'm like,
Mhm.
shit, how do you know him? Another night he meets a guy that I had met the first time I was in New York, and I was like, oh my God, you're literally meeting everyone. And then another night, he sends me someone from Adelaide, and I was like, how did you meet someone from Adelaide in New York? Like, it's New York is a big city, but it's a small city at that as well. And oh, I love New York so much.
New York, and it really is. Like, I mean, if you are in Hell's Kitchen to any
Yes.
capacity more
Yeah.
than 3 times in a week,
Yeah. You know
you're gonna
everyone.
know everybody.
Because you know the bartenders, you know the drag queens. Like
Yep.
I met a drag queen, and she was amazing. Like, and her and I just like message on Instagram all the time now. Like, I love it, love it.
Shane actually knows Monet Exchange to a certain
Ah!
capacity.
Yeah,
Stopped him at this event and was like, "Oh my gosh, like I know you from New York, right?" And so they
ah,
exchanged info. And then I had met Monet, it was either right before Drag
mm,
Race or like right before that season came out.
yeah,
Um and Monet, my friend did a drag competition at the bar at the time. I think it was Therapy or Industry. Um they gave you wigs, they gave you outfits. Monet was just clowning my friend because my friend took on his own wig and split it in half and
yeah.
was just like rolling all over the floor, and could not take him seriously.
Oh,
So shout
I,
out to the drag performers in New York City because they are
the
the
best.
best in the world. They
Yes,
are
I agree,
vocalists, they are
100%.
actors, they are seamstresses, they
Mm,
are designers. If anybody in the world, this is why
ah,
you have so many drag queens
from New
um
York.
from New York on Drag Race
Mm,
US, because that is where all the talent is.
oh,
They are
it's
singing
amazing.
live. A lot of drag queens don't sing live. New York drag queens sing
Mm-hmm.
live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are talented. Talented.
Jamie
Oh,
Rogers said it's starting to sound like there is a gay hive mind.
New York. is the gay
What is a
hive.
hive mind? Is that an Aussie thing?
Is a hive mind like the top mind? I don't know. I don't
Jamie,
know.
please
Uh,
elaborate as you're
what did we
watching.
what did we say, Russ? Like we're gay, we're not smart, okay?
Nobody, look, my SAT scores were terrible, but I still got into a
Okay.
good college. But I went to school for broadcasting. I did not go to be a lawyer. I learned how to speak on a
So
microphone. I did not read a single thing except for a teleprompter.
everyone knows everyone, and that's true. There is New York
Mm.
is like that's gay culture in New York. Like you said, if you know one person, that person's gonna know X amount of people, and yeah, it's insane.
And New Yorkers are straight up. They're not catty. You go to some other cities and there's predominantly a neighborhood, and there's this nasty nice that's happening.
Yes, I've got that in
New
my
York City,
notes.
it's not like that because there is millions of people there, so they don't need another friend. If you happen to be
Yeah,
one to them, great, but they're gonna let you
yeah,
know what it is and they're gonna keep pushing with their life.
yeah. I have that in my notes. Like I literally wrote, gay culture. I don't know what it is, but for some reason my game is just goes up in New York, and um, what did I write? I
You're a
wrote
New
that
York 10, baby. You a New York 10.
I'm a New York 10.
You're a New York 10, okay?
Weird. Okay, I am. I am a New York 10. I am.
A New
Um,
York 10.
so New York just has like, you know how you've got hot guys, like you've got nice hot guys, but then you've
The
got
hottest.
nice, but then you've got like nice hot guys, as in like they're friendly hot guys, but then you've got unfriendly hot guys. Like New York just has friendly hot guys.
I
Like
was gonna say I never ran into an unfriendly hot guy in New York. Everyone is
no, no,
very
no, no, no. Everyone in New York is like literally. I remember one night, and this is where I know that I somehow have increased game in New York, where I'm dancing, and then I just see like the hottest couple, like the hottest couple I've ever seen in my life. They were Dominicans. I think this is why I started learning Duolingo Spanish, because I was like, I need to talk to these Dominicans in Spanish. Um, Walked up to this couple and I was just like, hey, how are you guys? Like, really tried to ham up my Aussie accent. I was like, hey, how are you guys? And then I was like, you guys are the hottest couple I've seen in my life. And yeah, we still chat to this day.
Wow. Paul chatting with a couple. Is that gay culture in New York City?
That's gay culture in New York City.
Paul, are you about to be part of a throuple?
No.
Are you
But
about to
can
be
I
part
just,
of a quadruple?
so I also have something else in my notes, gay culture in New York City. So obviously when I was there last, I was based in New Jersey, but gay culture in New York City is packing a douche in your bag when you go to the city.
No, it's not. It is not.
It is. It
No,
is.
gay culture is not that.
When you're traveling, it is, okay? And we didn't make it to 100,000 yet. I'm bearing it all. Um, gay culture is gay culture as a traveler. As a traveler in New York City, is packing a douche in your bag and saying to someone, "Do you mind if I douche at your place before?" Let's move
Wow.
on.
And that's the end of our show, everyone. We're just gonna cut it right there because you know what? You just got a lot more than you bargained for today.
I'm sorry.
Um, speaking of packing and douching, we have a viewer story that is going
Yes.
to blow your mind. Okay, hold on.
Tell
They've
me.
asked to remain
Tell
anonymous,
me.
so we are going to respect this. So let me just pull it up really quick in my emails.
I love that. Like every time you and I chat before we go on, you every time you tell me you have a viewer story or something that someone's messaged you, I get so excited because I'm like, don't tell me anything. Tell me live.
I was
Tell me
just okay.
live.
So I was just telling one of my friends, who's a new listener. I was telling her, I was giving her a voice note, and I was like, "Hey, we have a new episode coming out." I don't know if it was this morning or last night, but I was like, "We
Yeah.
have a new episode coming out." I was like, "I have this viewer story that's gonna knock your socks off." I was like, "But I don't want to give you much information." I was like, "I also don't tell Paul before we go live, so you'll be finding out live, just like the rest of us do, minus me." I was reading this last night, and I was like,
Oh my gosh.
But it is a very New York story. So
Okay, tell
let's
us.
check the chat one more time before we Jamie Rogers said a little eye thingy like this. Yes, Jamie Rogers is also interested in Frepple with 4 people. So Paul, you might want to slip into those comments for a second.
Tell us the
Um
story, Russ.
okay. Paul, Russ, I love the podcast. I'm a big fan. This is gonna blow up bigger than I can even imagine. And I really, really hope that you guys make everything that you want come true.
Thank you so
So
much.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Anani, because you're anonymous, so we're gonna call you
Nani.
Anani. Thank
Thank
you,
you, Nani.
Anani. So that's gonna be our anonymous for you gay millennials out there. If you want to be
Oh, Nani, Nani,
anonymous, we can call you
Nani.
Anani.
Yes.
New York City is the city that never sleeps.
Mm.
And it's certainly not a city that you ever sleep on. During a cold New York winter, I'd learned that I was to start a new job on the coming Monday.
Okay.
With all this excitement, I felt like it was important to blow off some stress amongst the excitement, yet nervousness about the new job. Bless you. I had been off the apps for a bit, but slowly signed on one by one as I was looking for a good time.
A good time.
Seeing as a no strings attached hookup was all I was searching for, I didn't
Uh-huh.
care what app I'd be using. After all, the regulars I somehow ended up on Old Faithful, Adam for Adam.
Oh,
And though I was
wow.
living,
Adam for
I mean, it could have been
Adam.
Craigslist, so there's
What
also
is
that.
pure? How old is Anoni?
Anani is late 30s, early 40s. So I'm gonna give you that
Makes
age range.
okay. That's the Adam for Adam age range, I think.
Adam for Adam's making a comeback, by the way.
Okay, okay, okay,
I see a lot of advertisements on Instagram for it.
okay.
Um, and though I was living downtown, I obviously put the search in for the Bronx, seeing as it's always pretty spicy in Boogie Town, if you know
Yes,
what
it
I'm saying.
is. It is.
So
Dominicans
I'm
live there.
scrolling. So I'm scrolling and throwing out damn near every type of correspondence. I somehow accidentally, quote, stumbled on a prose section of Adam for Adam, which to this day I don't know existed. So I began chatting with a pro adult film star.
Oh,
And again, at
okay.
this time, I'm pretty hot and bothered, if you catch my drift, for whatever
Yeah.
seeing, as I just wanted to blow off some stress for my
Mm.
upcoming new job, which started Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So the pro is known to be a miraculous bottom. I don't know how else to put that. I was trying to be clean about it. But he said, unfortunately, he just had Taco Bell. So I'd be the one who was reversing roles tonight.
That's
But at
okay.
this point, I'm already riding the D train. I don't know if that was fun, but rolling the D train uptown, and I'm ready. Now, when we got to the deed, it was just okay because although he was a pro, and I, and I was breaking him off a little coin, he didn't seem to be a great top. Either that, or maybe I wasn't giving the exact tight end he was looking for. But either way, we both eventually finished, and I believe even his roommate had a guy coming through just as I was leaving. Obviously, not the best sex, but somehow having access to an adult film star you've watched a bunch is actually really fun. There was a brief moment I thought I'd be able to stay and hang with the roommate and his new guest.
I
That is
love that.
very New York, okay?
I would probably be the same. Just putting it out there.
But for the most part, I didn't want to ruin a good and oddly unique experience. To this day, when I'm feeling a little hot and bothered, I will actually log on to an adult website, type in this person's name, and go back to that place I was in when I had all the excitement of meeting them face to face for the first time.
I love that.
If you've never been to New York, this could be a regular New York experience because in New York, anything and everything is possible. You know what they say. If you can make it, you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere.
Oh, insane. Insane.
So, okay, let me just debrief this with you for a minute, right?
Yeah.
So an adult film star back whenever this happened,
Yeah.
would that be the equivalent now to an OnlyFans star?
I'd say so. Like someone on Twitter with like heaps of followers. Do you know what I mean? It would be the same. When I was in LA, I saw this guy from Twitter, and I was like, "It's that guy from Twitter." I tried to say hello, but he didn't say hello back.
Okay, so look, I feel like maybe 2010, 2015, if you were an adult film star, and this was, mind you, this was the time of Andrew Christian models, right?
Oh yeah.
Jamie Rogers said, I was hoping the hookup was actually their boss from the new job and Ani was starting the next day. That would have been a good story.
I would have been yelling into the microphone if that was the story.
I do have another one, but we're running short on time. So maybe I'll just put that as a teaser on the Instagram page tomorrow. I'll give y'all some insight. Marsha said same. She was hoping that it was also someone from the job. But I'm thinking it almost wouldn't be as exciting to hook up. I feel like I don't even want to put this the wrong way. I just feel like there was more of a celebrity placed on adult stars maybe 15 years ago. So like you say the name Jenna Jameson, everybody knew who Jenna Jameson was. She was even on the Oprah Winfrey show at one point because she didn't have sex with anybody other than her husband, who was her co-performer.
Yeah.
So like I'm just it was just a little tangent that I wanted to go off of, like, oh, like, would that be the equivalent of today's time of maybe like someone who's Gen Z or millennial that's like, oh, I got to get it with this OnlyFans star, because there are some hot people on Twitter.
But there are hot people everywhere.
There are hot people everywhere. That's the thing. And I mean, a lot of people on Twitter are also party and play.
Yeah.
Which is like wild. And some of them are like overboard. And then my favorite is when they're in a relationship and then the relationship falls apart and then they start tearing each other up on Twitter and they start letting out the secrets. I'm like, screenshot. I don't want to miss the story. So I go and
really
read them. Oh my God, you did this? You did that? And I'm like, oh, and I'm back to the other person's page, right? There was also a New York moment where let me tell you about we're gonna wrap up soon because I know we're getting close to the hour mark. A viewer story. I have a story. I was trying to find a shirt like the one that I was wearing earlier. You know, cute, see-through, very gay, right? The one you're wearing.
Yeah.
And so I went into this gay clothing shop in Chelsea.
Okay, Chelsea. Yep, the gay spot.
And I'm like, cute. I'm looking around. I'm like, okay, like this is a little bit more like there was like iridescent tops, and I was like, I'm not really into iridescent. Doesn't look that great on me. So I'm like going around. I was like, oh, there's a downstairs. Walking around downstairs, there's some clothes downstairs. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's more. So I walk around the corner. It was a cruising spot, and I was like walking, and I was like, why is it so? Mind you, I could be so oblivious sometimes. And I'm walking. I'm like, why is it so dark in here, right? And I'm like, just like walking through, and then I'm like, oh, I realized what's going on. The way I clutched my pearls and turned around and ran out so fast. I was like, I was just looking for a t-shirt. The guy at the counter was laughing at me because he's like, I tried to get your attention to let you know you had to pay to go in there. He's like, but once I realized that you didn't know what was happening, he's like, I could not help but watch this unfold. So he's like,
you were looking for a t-shirt.
He's like, that's classic comedy. He's like, oh, he's like the life of an innocent gay. And I was like, I just want to go home now.
You were looking
So,
for a t-shirt, but did you find a top?
nope. Maybe.
That joke didn't land. I'm sorry. I can't do dad jokes. I'm sorry.
I thought you were gonna go. I thought you instead of saying top, I thought you were gonna say, but did you get tea bagged? And that is probably my own moment of life. I walked into a cruising room accidentally.
I mean, it
what is
happens.
your own moment of the week?
I didn't have an oh no moment of the week, but I guess I had an oh no moment in New York when I was there 2 years ago.
Oh man.
So this was when I traveled to New York. That's literally when monkeypox started happening, right? Like that's when monkeypox was becoming a. Do you want to read the comment?
Sorry, I know I clicked on it and I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna say? Okay, really quick. Paul, you'll start all over again in just a minute. But Jason just said you only have to go a few meters to see how well your new clothes pull. Good business model.
Good business
pull
model.
off? Is that what you mean? You gonna pull
I
off
think
my
he
clothes?
means like
Jamie, absolutely not. My clothes are staying on until we get to 250,000 followers.
Whereas I started early talking about a douche in the bag.
Your mic is cut off. No more for you. I'm all up in this camera today. My forehead is all up in this camera. I've been really leaning into it today.
Okay, so my New York oh no moment. So 2 years ago, that's when monkeypox, became known. So we were traveling to, that hemisphere for a rugby tournament. We were fortunate enough to get the first dose in Canada because Canada was amazing. You literally walk into a clinic, they say, do you have sex with men? You say yes, and you get the jab. So we got the first jab. That was about a week and a half before I went to New York. So I'm in New York, living my best New York life, doing all the touristy things, hitting all the bars that everyone goes to. I end up at the Eagle. So, have you been to the Eagle before in New York?
No.
Okay. So there's a cruising spot in the Eagle. It's like that bar. So I did a stroll through the cruising area. And that was it. The next morning, I wake up to go have my shower. I take off my shirt and I'm like, oh no! I see like a dot.
Oh no!
And I'm like doing the calculations.
I'm stressed.
I was a good boy last night. Like, I literally just walked through the cruising area. I didn't even do anything. And then I was like, there's a dot on my body. I'm freaking out. I'm like, it hasn't even been 2 weeks. Like, I'm not at full immunity yet, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to have a shower and I'll go outside and talk to the friend that I was staying with in the hotel, and had a shower and the dot was gone. It was just dirt.
Girl, let me tell you that oh my god.
It was just
monkeypox. That'll tell you that the gays can get things done, because as soon as everybody found out about monkeypox, everybody was getting the vaccination. In our county here, they were giving it to anybody who was signing up, but in other counties, there were people were lying to get the shot because you had to they were withholding it, and you had to have had intercourse with multiple people. So there were people like, how many sexual partners have you had in the past month? And they were pulling a Samantha Jones. They're like 27, 30. And so like it was bypassing the system and allowing them to enroll to get the shot. So the gays were doing everything and anything necessary to get the shot.
Exactly. To get back to that gay culture lifestyle that they live.
Sorry, I'm also reading. Jesus, Jamie is like, I might have to change the age range or age rating for this week's episode. Definitely not. This is not safe for work or kids, unless you work at a gay establishment, or unless you're going to play it in New York, then it's completely acceptable.
You just need to cut my mic off next week. That's all you need to do.
Hopefully, none of you have children at home and you're not playing this in front of your children. But yeah, monkeypox was a thing that, like, one of the first cases in California was in Orange County, and my doctor, my personal doctor,
Yeah.
he's a gay doctor. They sent him an email about it or something about that because he is so prominent in Orange County that they wanted to alert him, like, you know, this is what's going on in Orange County. And so, like, he right away messaged me and was like, hey, have you been vaccinated? I was like, yeah, I've been vaccinated. We're able to get it here in this county. So with all that being said, y'all, be safe when you're traveling. And if you're going to accidentally walk into a cruising space, know that you're supposed to pay for it in most locations. Because next week we are going to be talking about, Paul, you want to let them know?
We're going to be talking about gay travels or just travel, really.
And must-see destinations. Because why not? New York is a travel destination. So we're just going to roll off of that, and we're going to move in and keep going.
We're going to keep
travel
going.
destinations. So we want to hear your travel stories. So please send us your hottest travel stories, your hookup stories. Maybe you met the love of your life on one of your travel adventures, like myself. Maybe you're going to be in a throuple like Paul with all 17 people.
We're really manifesting, aren't we?
Because you know what? In this economy, the more incomes you have, the better life you're going to live. Okay?
Exactly.
We're all going to share the same bed anyways. So might as well just make the best of it. Before you go, please like, subscribe, share the podcast with your friends. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple iTunes Music Podcast, or you can watch us on video at youtube.com, or you can head over to my website. I have them up on my website as well, russellraysilva.com.
Yes.
You could find Paulie B at Mr. Biohan, right?
Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce it? I always botch your last name.
I'll just go like full filler, Mr. Biohan. Yeah.
Mr. Biohan.
Yes.
Underscore. Biohan. Don't forget the underscore between Mr.
Mr. underscore Biohan. BYOHAN.
And you can find me all over the internet at Russell X Raymond. Until then, y'all, we'll see you next week when we talk about gay destinations and travel. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.